Hey everybody, it's Leon with Bigfoot Okanagan. I really appreciate all the comments in regards to the puzzle quiz when looking at structures, how to figure out which one is man-made and which one isn't. It was great hearing your selections. It was great to, some of you keeners out there were pretty on the ball. There was only 5 of you. There's about 178 people who responded in 3 different sites on that particular post. And some of you were cautious, and others just took it for face value. I even had people, I don't think they read the top part of the post, but they said, I love those. Those are beautiful structures from Sasquatch. So to keep the suspense over with, the bottom line is yes, they are all human made. And when I ever do any type of research on anything, I always look at both sides of an issue, even the negative side that would be opposed to my belief system. So what I did is I just basically went online and I went looking for survival huts. I found in Europe, especially Eastern Europe, there are tons and tons of structures that look just like Squatch huts. So the whole idea about why we're kind of doing this is I think it'd be helpful for everybody if we came up with some kind of an acronym or 10 points, 5 points, I don't know, that when you walk into a structured area to go through those acronyms just to confirm that you're seeing what you're seeing instead of projecting onto what you're hoping you're seeing. I know it's embarrassing. Look, I'll do it for you. Okay, I was wrong. Yes, I thought for sure this was a Sasquatch structure, and I was totally wrong. Remember, life isn't about good, bad, right, or wrong. It's about learning, 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 being flexible. So there's no threat to look at some deep issues like this. Anyways, when I did go online, what I did find was it was 3 different kind of things that I hit. First of all was the hunter blinds, the ones that, and I'll post these up here so you can see the differences of them. But again, when you look at especially older hunting blinds or hunting shelters for survival, they do look a lot like Squatch structures. The second one I came across, which was kind of interesting, was an actual company who designed, and they look like structures, who designed structures for people for their kids. And they called them, I think they called them fairy houses. And then the third one I ran into was schools using structures, or not structures, but they got the students to go out and make structures, and I think they called them fairy homes, and some of those they look pretty good. Is a lot of us are coming across structures that seem to be next to roadways and park systems, pathways, and the thing about when you're looking at things, oh, this is why I'm videotaping, by the way. I would have typed, but I can't because my hand's screwed. Anyways, oh yeah, when you're looking at anything, there's 2 ways of picking up information. Either you get knowledge of the information. Knowledge would be, I've read every single issue about this, I've watched every video about this, I understand the whole thing, the theory in that. Now the other one is what's called wisdom. So you have knowledge, which is heady stuff, and wisdom. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by the 2 differences in the 2. So when I'm teaching my courses, one of the examples I'll say to people about those 2 differences is, say you wanted to learn about putting cars together. So you spend 4 years getting a degree, and in that 4 years, what you've read everything you could possibly read about putting a car together. You've watched every video about putting a car together. And then as your professor, I take you outside, and outside in the or out in the parking lot, I have taken a car apart from its little bolts to its little screws to all of its parts, and I put it all across the parking lot. And now I say to you, put the car together. In the wrestling of all the knowledge you picked up for 4 years, the confusion, the frustration, as you put the car together, that's where you get your wisdom from. So the reason why I'm sharing that is it would be helpful for us, I think, if you get a chance to, is look at some survival structures and make one. And look at how they design, because humans do have a pattern to how we make structures. And again, especially if you're a very intuitive person or an artsy person, and you're used to looking at things from a non-analytical way, you're going to feel differently about what the structure looks like when you come across a Squatch structure compared to when you come across a human-made structure. There's just something that's too, I don't want to use the word modern, but in a way it is. It's like a cultural imprint that we carry. So when you transfer it over onto building something, it appears there. Any painters out there know this information. What I mean is, whenever you paint, no matter who you're painting, a part of you is painted on. In other words, how you look is actually painted in the portrait you're actually painting. So the key part about what I'd like to do next, you guys, if you're up to this, is if we can come up and just maybe start posting stuff that when you come across a site, what was the stuff that really convinced you it was a Squatch structure compared to a human structure? And again, if I can encourage you, just go online. Rule number 1 for the learner, the 7 laws of learning. First rule is never do for the learner what they can do for themselves. So go online and research, watch videos on how to make structures. So when you come across one, you'll be able to identify the rhythm of how people actually make structures. And again, you'll see the difference in the way the structure is built when you walk into either a wallow or, again, the way it's designed. It just doesn't look, if I may say it, it looks more natural to the forest than it does unnatural, meaning man has put it there. So again, 100% appreciate it. I think there was 5 of you, like I said, that were dead on. You're obviously Bushmen. I think Neil was in there, Chad was in there, and a few others. And then the other ones, like I said, they were healthy skeptics. This could be a Sasquatch hut or a Sasquatch structure. That's a healthy way of looking at it too. And then, like I said, the other ones were like, my goodness, that's a beautiful structure. Okay, well, we all want to look at it. I get it. I have said things for sure thinking this has got to be a structure from Bigfoot, and I was wrong. So I'll do it for you guys. I was wrong. So you can practice that. I was wrong. I made a mistake. Mistakes are good. Mistakes are meaning that you're growing. So anyways, put your posts down. Let's see what we can come up with as far as an acronym goes. That's pretty, if it can be goofy and funny, that would be good because it helps us remember it. So when we walk onto a site, we'll go through that list just to verify what we're seeing is what we're seeing as close as we can to understanding what we know today about Bigfoot structures. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome week.